In Chapter 7, Pozner talks a lot about how violence is used as a promotional tool, how violence is used in reality TV shows to humiliate women, and how violence is used to get laughs. And at one point, she talks about how when they're casting men, they often cast men that have very real histories of violence. Some of the histories that they have are things such as restraining orders, assault, battery, sexual violence, abuse in other ways as well. And even in one case, she mentions murder. And I think in a lot of these cases is that they set the bar really low in terms of bringing in people and casting people. And when they do background checks, often it's only for liability reasons. And I think that this is a very, very serious issue that needs to be addressed, because there's statistics out there that show that every 15 seconds a woman is abused, usually by an intimate partner. Usually 3 women are killed every single day in Canada by their intimate partner. And as of right now, there is almost 1,200 cases of murdered and missing Indigenous women, and probably well over 18,000 undocumented cases of missing women in general.
Regardless of the shocking and appalling stats that Rob just shared, reality TV condones these violent acts against women in order to improve their ratings. Reality TV production crews are present at the times of these assaults, and they do nothing to stop it, and they continue to film and they continue to air these violent assaults against women, especially on shows like The Real World or Jersey Shore, where women are physically abused or sexually abused. The camera crews and the producers present at these times of the assault, who stand by and do nothing to prevent these violent crimes from happening, are just as responsible as the perpetrators who inflict these violent acts. Just like the Canadian government, the producers and the camera crews stand there and do nothing to help these women who are constantly victimized. These condoned acts of violence continue to happen once the cameras are turned off, and this is evident within the greater society as we can see the growing number of murdered and missing women in Canada and around the world, a topic that Lacey will touch on.
Pozner also discusses how when reality TV shows air disrespectful speech that's directed towards women, how this becomes normalized within society, and vulgar and disrespectful speech just becomes an accepted way that we treat women within society. So patriarchy then is reinforced through this normalization and through the violent and the vulgar acts that these women face on these reality television shows. Pozner also argues that media doesn't directly cause violence towards women, but it most definitely contributes to the cultural norm that violence has promoted, or that has been promoted within these TV shows. And that these differences of the imbalance between the genders of male and female becomes accepted. So someone who would speak to this would be feminist scholar Bell Hooks, and she discusses how patriarchy is used as a system of domination within many given societies, and how it becomes institutionalized and perpetuated, and then therefore just maintained as a norm within a society. So if we are to take Bell Hooks' theories of racism and patriarchy and look at how it is used to reinforce white supremacy within society, and transferring that onto the argument that Pozner is making in her chapter about violence being condoned in reality TV shows, we can see how it becomes normalized within society, and it promotes patriarchy, and then it also softens the effects that violence has on women because it's become more accepted within society, creating less shock within the real world. So it becomes a more acceptable factor that many women face. So if we were to take this one step further and look at how patriarchy and racism, along with the violent culture that's promoted within popular culture or reality reality TV and look at how it affects Indigenous women within Canada, we can see that not so much in reality TV, but within mainstream media such as news stories and even movies, that women are either seen as dehumanized, animalistic, or just invisible. So there's more of a focus on not the fact that an Indigenous mother of 3, like a Cree woman such as Cindy Gladue, has gone missing, but more of a fact that an Indian hooker has died, most likely because she was out asking for it because of the lifestyle she chose. And if we were to take this and understand how colonialism has impacted Indigenous women within Canada, and the erasure that heteropatriarchy has attempted to put on Indigenous women by dismantling Indigenous womanhood, we could understand that media and popular culture just reinforces the ideas that Native women within Canada are insufficient, invisible, or just not needed.
Drawing on what Lacey has just said, we can see how systems of patriarchy and racism carried out through such avenues as pop culture and other forms of media continue to oppress all women. And in conclusion, we can see how violence that's condoned in reality television is carried out and condoned in real life. And if we're not taking it seriously when we watch it on TV, instead we go to Facebook and we count down the day until Snooki gets punched in the face, then how are we ever going to take it seriously when we walk out our front door? So if we start to be critical of the stuff that we're watching on television and reading in books and newspapers, I think that we can bring that and be more critical of what we're seeing in the media and how patriarchy and how systems of white supremacy are trying to feed us information versus how we can respond to it.